This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. It's Tuesday, February 9th.
And I'm Unette Gentry. Thank you so much for joining us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio.
Well, the VA Southern Nevada healthcare system is now providing COVID-19 vaccinations to veterans here in Pahrump. More than 400 veterans lined up to receive their vaccine this past weekend, and veterans who missed out will have another opportunity Saturday and Sunday, February 20th and 21st. Physician assistant Bill Carl says it's exciting to be able to help veterans at our local VA clinic.
As the COVID virus came on and spread and the vaccines were developed, we were excited about that, but we were, I think there was always an underlying anxiety about we're so far away from being able to access the vaccine. The vaccine is somewhat fragile molecularly, and so takes a lot of careful expertise. And perhaps it was delayed coming here for the first month because people in the Las Vegas area had to get used to handling it and experience administering it. And as soon as they felt confident in that process, they were able to send some teams out here to provide local immunization.
I felt I was ducking and dodging the virus for days and weeks and months and years now. And then just getting here was a psychological relief. I know that that's not the panacea that it's going to take care of everything, and you have to maintain the other procedures to help eradicate this. But I really feel good, and I feel that the VA is taking care of me and is conscious of my health, and I'm just so happy to be here today.
It's a community effort, and we've really, over the years, have developed a good relationship with the administration in Las Vegas, and the cooperation just leaves you with a good feeling.
Well, I think it's just fantastic that they put this together for us. It's an example of how we can initiate this for all small communities in America, whether it be a veteran situation like we're dealing with today, which is great for us, but the small communities everywhere in America that need the same kind of assistance and can trust and believe it'll work for them, I think it's just wonderful.
Most of the people that I spoke with were very positive and excited about getting the vaccine. I heard very little fear coming out of people, very little reluctance. People are stepping up and saying, I want the vaccine because I want to be protected and I want to be able to get out in the community again with some level of confidence.
So if you missed last weekend's clinic, you do have another opportunity to get a COVID-19 vaccine at the Pahrump VA clinic. To make an appointment, just give them a call, 775-727-7535. That's 727-7535. And just a reminder, this round of vaccinations is only for veterans aged 70 and older. Veterans under the age of 70 should not contact the reservation line. Additional information about the availability of COVID-19 vaccines is available on the VA's website.
And Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak issued a statement in response to the introduction of a bill draft request, which would allocate an additional $50 million to support small businesses through the Pandemic Emergency Technical Support Grant Program. He says to date, the program has approved more than 4,500 applications to support small businesses and nonprofit organizations across the Silver State. The program was previously allocated $51 million in coronavirus relief funds from the CARES Act. Through the infusion of an additional $50 million, this will bring total funding to more than $100 million, making it the largest small business assistance program in Nevada's history.
Well, you've probably already seen some smoke up there on the hill near Mount Charleston as part of the Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest hazardous fuels reduction efforts. The Spring Mountains National Recreation Area's Fire crews will begin pile burning, and they already started that, in February to May of this year, weather and fuel conditions permitting. There are three general types of prescribed fires, and that is pile burning, understory or underburning, or broadcast burning. They all help decrease the threat of high intensity, high severity wildfires, reduce the risk of insect and disease outbreak, and recycle nutrients that increase soil productivity and improve wildlife habitat. The public can get prescribed burn updates by visiting the Forest Facebook page.
A tragedy was avoided on Lake Mead last Wednesday when a kayaker who had become separated from his kayak was rescued by game wardens from the Nevada Department of Wildlife and National Park Service law enforcement rangers after spending more than an hour in the 40-degree water. Game Warden Zachary Blackwood was meeting with rangers from the National Park Service at the Las Vegas Boat Harbor launch ramp when a 911 call came in reporting a person in the water. After spotting the victim struggling in the water roughly 500 yards from the shore near the fishing pier, Blackwood launched his boat with an NPS ranger and an NPS medic on board. An NPS unit also helped direct them to the kayaker from the shore. When they arrived, the victim was unable to grasp the rope with his hands due to the extended exposure in that cold water. Rangers pulled him into the boat as Blackwood returned to the boat harbor, where the man was treated for extreme hypothermia. The victim reported that he had become separated from his kayak and the winds had made retrieving it impossible. Blackwood was able to retrieve the man's kayak and equipment from the lake, and after a few hours warming up on the boat harbor, the kayaker felt well enough and he refused any further treatment. And stay tuned, we'll be right back with much more local and national news.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, some stocks are getting a chilly reception, and we'll tell you about Hasbro and Target in your financial news.
Topping our news, a dramatic fall in trading volumes in GameStop and AMC. Those are just a couple of the stocks that were extremely hot with young investors, sometimes using the Reddit website to track down stocks being shorted by hedge funds and then quickly buying up shares on apps such as Robinhood. According to MarketWatch, trading volumes in GameStop were above 559 million shares trading a week ago, but on midday Monday, we're around 17 million. Toy maker Hasbro is reporting a profit and revenue that were better than Wall Street analysts predicted as Americans play more games to occupy their time during the pandemic. The company's revenue was up 4% to $1.72 billion. Americans are also wearing more stretchy pants as they spend time at home. It's giving a boost to Target. The retailer's activewear line, All in Motion, brought in $1 billion in sales in 2020.
All right, we're going to head over to Missy Kohler with your news across the Silver State.
A report released Monday by Las Vegas Realtors shows the local housing market started 2021 with home prices still rising and the housing supply still shrinking. LVR reported that the median price of existing single-family homes sold in Southern Nevada through its multiple listing service during January held steady at $345,000. That matches the all-time record set in November and tied in December of 2020. It's also up 13.1% from a median price of $305,000 in January of 2020. LVR reported a total of 3,262 existing local homes, condos, and townhomes were sold during January. Compared to the same time last year, January sales were up 15.5% for homes and 5.4% for condos and townhomes. Homes have been selling faster than they were 1 year earlier. The Nevada Housing Division has received approximately $124 million to provide additional temporary rental and housing expense assistance through the CARES Housing Assistance Program. The program has served approximately 29,000 Nevadans to date. The additional funds are currently expected to help an estimated 20,000 households with rent and utilities. The funding that will be distributed by the division comes from the state's $124.6 million share of a total $208 million received through the Federal Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021 for emergency rental assistance. Households earning up to 80% of area median income are eligible for assistance. However, the program prioritizes assistance to those that are unemployed or have not been employed for 90 days or renters whose incomes do not exceed 50% of area median income. Information about CHAP program eligibility and how to apply can be found by visiting the Nevada Housing Division's website at housing.nv.gov. Nevada's Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program, which provides up to 13 weeks of benefits to individuals who have exhausted their regular unemployment benefits, saw 65,308 claims filed in a week, a decline of 3,820. Nevada's State Extended Benefits Program, which provides additional benefits to individuals who have exhausted both their regular and PEUC benefits, saw 66,066 claims filed in the week, an increase of 6,285 claims from a week ago. The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which provides benefits for self-employed 1099 contract workers and gig workers, saw 70,368 initial claims filed in the week ending January 30th, a decline of 41,294 claims. Initial applications for the PUA program continue to be highly variable due to ongoing high levels of fraudulent applications. Through the week ending January 30th, there have been a total of 1,032,652 PUA initial claims filed. There were 118,708 PUA continued claims filed in the week ending January 30th, an increase of 22,619 claims. This is the highest number of claims continued through the PUA program since early September. And the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health Office of Public Health Investigations and Epidemiology says that this flu season activity has been significantly lower than past years, specifically hospitalizations, deaths, and positive test results. By week 2 of the season, there have been 23 hospitalizations, 1 death, and 0.02% testing positive. That compares to week 2 for the 2019-2020 season, when there were 931 hospitalizations, 22 deaths, and 48.3% positivity. For the 2018-19 season, there were 449 hospitalizations, 13 deaths, and 26.5% positivity. The season begins in the fall on week 40 and continues into the next year until week 20. All states are currently reporting low influenza activity this season, and it's believed that the decreases are due to the adoption of COVID-19 precautions, including masks, hand washing, and sanitizing. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are recommending residents get a flu vaccine right away and say that people who receive any vaccine, including the one for influenza, need to wait at least 14 days to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Those who get the COVID-19 vaccination would need to wait 14 days to get another vaccination. More information on this can be found at nvflufighter.org. I'm Missy Kohler, and that's been your news across Nevada.
Thank you so much, Missy. And turning now to some sad celebrity news. Legendary Motown vocalist Mary Wilson, a co-founder of the legendary girls singing group The Supremes, has died at the age of 76. Wilson died suddenly at her home in Henderson, Nevada, Monday night. The official cause of death is heart disease, and the coroner has ruled her death as natural.
I just love them.
Yes,
Wow, we're going to miss her
them.
so much.
Yes, rest in peace. You are supreme, Miss Wilson.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be back with more news after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back. Well, the National Transportation Safety Board has said that basketball legend Kobe Bryant's helicopter pilot pushed the limits of bad weather flying rules and ultimately abandoned his training as he became disoriented in the clouds and crashed into a Southern California hillside last year. The National Transportation Safety Board says that the crash was preventable. The board officially attributed the January 26, 2020 crash that killed Bryant, his daughter, the pilot, and 6 others to the pilot's decision to continue to fly despite the weather. The board recommended federal policy changes that, if adopted, could have a long-lasting impact on charter flight safety. In the meeting, investigators said island pilot R.A. Zobayan may have felt pressure to perform for a high-profile client and continued flying into deteriorating weather conditions. Zobayan developed a very close friendship with Bryant. Investigators say a type of relationship that can lead to self-induced pressure to fly in risky conditions.
And Never Forgotten Animal Society is one of several animal welfare organizations right here in Pahrump that makes it their priority to help animals in need. And they recently held a fundraiser at the Elks Lodge. And if you missed out on that one, you have another opportunity to attend and help next month.
We are with Never Forgotten Animal Society, and we're doing an event to help raise money and make people alert of that we're here and that we do need help once in a while. So we have a nice lunch going on, live music, and a raffle. And we'll be doing other functions in the near future. The next one will be March 6th up at the winery. We're going to have do-it-your-own auction, which is kind of unique. Each person will bring, whoever attends, will bring in their own item and they will auction it off themselves. The person has their own choice on what they want to bring in, and so it makes it really interesting. You never know what you're going to find when you walk in the door. People really enjoy it because it's unique and nobody else does it here in Pahrump. And of course, all proceeds, like today's function, all goes to Never Forgotten Animal Society.
How can people find out more about that and get involved in that?
They can call me, Maxine, at 775-513-1205. In 2020, we have placed and adopted out over 800 animals. We've had guinea pigs, we've had rabbits, we've had turtles, potbelly pigs, so we try to work with all of the animals that are in need of a home. They can donate anytime. They can be $1 of the month people, which once a month they send in $1, and it's only $12 a year, but those $12 definitely add up. This is what keeps us going. This is what enables us to keep helping animals and getting them placed. Because once we take an animal in, we have to make sure that they are vaccinated, they are microchipped, and that they have seen a vet. And this all adds up when you're doing several animals. So your donations is what keeps us going, and we really thank you.
Never Forgotten Animal Society is located at 520 East Street here in Pahrump. For more information or to make a donation, you can visit them online at neverforgottenanimalsociety.com or on Facebook at Never Forgotten Animal Society.
Well, many people still have questions about the new COVID-19 vaccines, and rumors continue to swirl. Erica Foreman helps us debunk some of the most common myths.
When it comes to COVID-19 vaccines, it's important to focus on fact, not fiction. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Tosin Goji says one common misconception is that mRNA technology is new.
The technology of mRNA has been with us for at least 10 to 15 years. It was initially put together for cancer patients. So it's not like we just found this technology within the past year for COVID. It's something that has been in place. And when the opportunity came, it was like an aha moment, like we can use this technology for this.
Some people think the vaccine may give them coronavirus, but that's a myth.
No, it's not going to give you COVID. It's not a live vaccine. You're not going to get a COVID infection.
Another mistaken belief is that messenger RNA vaccines can alter your DNA, but RNA and DNA are different.
It's not changing your DNA because people think, oh, it's going to change me. It's not integrating itself into your DNA. No, it's not changing who you are.
Dr. Goji says some people think they don't need a vaccine if they've already had COVID-19, but that's not the case.
When an infection is novel, we don't know how long your immunity lasts. So immunity, whether it's natural or from a vaccine, will wane over time. So even though you had the infection, you still need almost like a booster.
Even after receiving a vaccine, we should continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash our hands to protect those who aren't vaccinated. At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Thanks, Erica. Well, vaccines are a step towards ending the pandemic, but Dr. Goji reminds us it will be months before we achieve herd immunity, the point where the disease is no longer likely to spread.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hey, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. We're actually outside. We're observing the weather from high atop of Pahrump. And, if you look in kind of this direction over here, you'll see us. Getting right over there. There you are. Beautiful weather this afternoon. Some clouds, some wind to tell you about It's coming up in the next week. We'll let you know all about it when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios with your weather report. Looking at it, Fernley, look at you, 54 degrees. High today, 32 for a low. Out in Fallon, you're all the way up to 57, 31 for a low. Carson City, you saw 53 degrees for a high. 31 is going to be your low. As we approach morning, oh, Tonopah, you are so chill. 48 degrees was your high temperature today. 26 will be your low tonight. And you beat out everybody. You're the most chill spot on the planet. There you go. Goldfield, 51 degrees for a high today. 28 for a low. Beatty, all the way up to 62. Yes, loving it. 40 for a low. 64 in Amargosa with 41 for where you're heading tonight. And Las Vegas, all the way up to room temperature, more or less 65 degrees. And 49 for a low tonight. If you want some warm, go on out to Death Valley. It's still pretty good. 75 degrees for a high today. 53 for a low. And here in the paradise of Pahrump, where the air is pure and the grass is green and there's a little dog running down by my feet. I love that about Pahrump. Good dog town. 61 degrees is our current temperature. 63 for a low tonight. Excuse me, it was our high today. Winds, yeah, a little bit windy, and it's going to be picking up this week as we head on into it. Some clouds because of the humidity, 19%, and a sunrise this morning at 6:37 a.m. Set this evening like right now, 5:19 p.m. And I'm sure it's glorious if I was poking my head out the window, and I just might do that in a second. 44 degrees is where we're heading tonight for low temperatures. Light winds, east-northeasterly winds to 4 miles per hour. Humidity 36%. Picking up a lot of cloud cover. Look at this, clouds, 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 and look at all that wind. Yeah, it's going to be a little blustery, a little windy, a little cloudy. Bits of rain here and there. I actually had to turn my windshield on once this afternoon as the rain was coming down just sporadically. It was kind of fun. Temperatures riding around the mid-60s for the high marks. Right around the low and mid 40s until Sunday. It's going to chill out just a little bit, but that's nothing too bad. 38 degree low predicted Sunday. But other than that, we're looking pretty pleasant for a kind of springtime weather here in Pahrump. Hope you're enjoying it. Back to the desk. It's UNET Indiana.
I'm Deanna.
I'm UNET. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.